I'm delighted to have the opportunity to address you today at the opening of the third summit on media for social impact. I would also like to thank the PVBLIC Foundation, under the leadership of Sergio Fernandez de Cordova, and my colleagues of the UN Office of Partnerships for making this event come to life. You are here today because you are the powerful individuals who care about our world. You've already proven your immense talents in various industries, and now you have a chance to transcend this realm and help us make history by amplifying the message of the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development and to make sure that it's heard by everyone. In 2015, the world's leaders agreed on a plan of action for the people, for the planet, and for prosperity for all. And in this first year of implementation of the 2030 Agenda, public support will be essential for turning the plan from being an aspiration into a reality. And to do that, it's necessary to generate mass awareness among citizens to ensure that they hold their world leaders to their promises. This year alone, we would like the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development to be known by 2 billion people worldwide. And we would like to engage at least 700,000 people to become committed activists to bring others on board. There are 3 concrete roles I would like the media, advertising, and entertainment industries to play in this first year of our journey towards 2030. First of all, help reframe the conversation. We need to reframe development to turn it from a complex and abstract agenda into a personal, concrete, and emotional story about people and their planet. Changing climates and the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development are universal challenges, and also they're absolutely indivisible. Messages about them need to be framed in a way that defines and describes their indivisibility. And to do this, we need to increase understanding among everybody that economic growth and social progress are tied to sustainability, and that the future of the planet, its people, and their prosperity cannot be separated from each other. To do this, it means making sure that the narrative of the 2030 Agenda is one of empowerment and ownership. The agenda, after all, belongs to everyone. It links a girl in rural Mexico to the consumer of a food brand in Chicago and the Minister of Education even in India. Everyone has a role to play. Worldwide, we see that people are angry, frustrated, and sometimes distrustful of the institutions created to govern them. We need to be sure that their cynicism, and indeed sometimes their despair, is turned into an urgent desire for change by offering possibility and hope. Although most people don't know it, I can tell you that the world has already made enormous progress in development. Between 2000 and 2015, we've seen a halving of the rates of people who are extremely poor. Child deaths have been cut by nearly 15%, and there's been real progress in protecting the ozone layer. By illustrating such successes, it's possible to show to everybody that the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development is also implementable, and it can make a difference. But we've got to act on it, and act on it now. So now to my second challenge for you. Please help ensure that the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development is built up and positioned in the minds of everybody in our world. The 2030 Agenda needs to be positioned as the plan, the only plan for the future of our world's people and for the future of the planet. It should become the frame of reference for everything everyone does. It should be referenced within countries. It should be referenced within UN reports. It should be referenced in accounts of the implementation of human rights treaties. It should be referenced in the annual reports of businesses. It should be referenced in the frameworks for action of non-governmental organisations and civil society groups. It should be referenced in school assignments, in the advertising campaigns you produce, in articles in newspapers. Please, help us make the plan an aspiration for everyone. Help us make sure it's referenced everywhere. The 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development has a clear visual identity, represented beautifully by the icons and the rings in the pictorial representations of the goals. Similar to the Olympic rings that stand for the highest standard in sports, the visual identity of the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development stands for the highest standards in civic engagement, social commitment and solidarity within the human family and on our planet. Please, can you help us build and promote this identity everywhere? And now to my third request. Let's make sure that the brand of the Sustainable Development Goals reaches out and engages everyone. Help make sure that it reaches far and wide. Help us all to amplify the voices of those who are leading changes in their own communities linked to the Sustainable Development Agenda. Use your power and your influence to persuade citizens throughout our world, whether they're consumers and employees, about the importance of this plan for the future. Today, you'll be presenting the best creative campaigns for good. I hope you recognise that the topics covered, whether on education, HIV, about girls, or to do with human rights, are addressed everywhere within the 2030 Agenda. And please make sure that the connections are explicit. Please link all your reporting to the global goals. Add the ring that describes the goals or the icons that illustrate them to your products, to your campaigns, and to your reports. Create the biggest campaign ever for humanity by using your space, your creativity, and your design skills to make this part of everyday conversation. And that's important. We can be, we must be the first generation to end extreme poverty. We must be the last generation to stop the effects of climate change. We have a plan. Let's now all of us get to work and make it happen so that we do have a sustainable world for everyone, both now and in the generations to come. Thank you.